In today's video, I'm going to be going over all of the essential legendaries from Evolve. Let's get started then, and this is going to be a big one. As you can see, there are 55 legendaries to talk about, kind of, but there's a lot. So I'm going to try and go relatively quickly. I don't want this video to be 40 minutes long or something. So let's begin. I'm basically going to skip over all the base minions. They all do the same thing. You place them, they generate a minion who will be obvious, I'll mention, and by fulfilling a certain condition, that minion will evolve. It will also evolve the versions of all the base minions wherever they are. So be they in the base, be they in your hand, be they in the deck, wherever they are, it'll do it. And the next time you place that base minion, you will get the evolved version. This is true for all the base minions in this set besides Lars, who only evolves by placing additional copies. So the level 1 Lars will give you the Samurai of Lars, level 2 will give you the 7-cost dragon, level 3 will give you the 10-cost dragon, and you can only get level 2 having already placed 1 Lars in base, and only get level 3 with it being the 3rd Lars you place in base. I hope that's reasonably clear, but you'll see those at the appropriate moment. Anyway, enough sort of blathering. Let's get started then. So, Atom, leader of Aguma, words. Any effects you activate where minions lose or are dealt minus BP have an additional minus 100 BP added on. This is fine. I can see this being very useful in a control red deck in giving you access to just slightly more removal each time. And actually, this is pretty cool with cards like Sagita Flame, where that becomes 400, 300, which is actually really, really strong, and it removes a huge amount of stuff in the early game. So yeah, I'd say this is a 3 out of 5 card. I'm not going to, yeah, it's a 3 out of 5 card. It's solid, but it just doesn't have a place right now, though it does have Dwarf and Sword synergy. Then we have got the base Emily here. So the level 1 is a 5-cost 5/2. When attacking, deal minus 200 BP to 2 of your opponent's minions. When evolved by summoning a dwarf, it will give your minions belonging to the dwarf class charge. And on level 3, which I should clarify for pretty much everything besides green and blue is not going to happen. Like, highly unlikely. You also get none of your red minions can be blocked by minions with BP lower than the original value. Additionally, all of these minions are evokers. This has a tremendous amount of synergy with various different things later down the line and even in this set, but we won't get bogged down in that so much for now. I'll just say that this is an essential card in every red deck that isn't Battle Spirits, basically. I think pretty much all of them run it, and it's obviously staple in Golems and Dwarves, which is basically every relevant red deck that is in Battle Spirits, so this is a 4 out of 5. Then the final red legendary is Aegis Origins 02. This has charge on a 7-cost 7/2, and when summoned, destroy all your token minions. For each minion destroyed by this effect, 1 token Golem M enters your field. The issue with this card is, of course, it is highly dependent on the amount of tokens you have. So if you build a token generating based deck, and I shall say that this card got a hell of a lot better with a lot of the support that came out in Forbidden, which made generating a large amount of tokens a lot easier, it's still highly dependent on your board state. Otherwise you're spending 7 for a 7/2 with charge, which is not great. So I would say this is a 2 out of 5, which could become a 5 out of 5 if you had a board of 5 minions, and is a 0 out of 5 if it's all you play. That's a bad way of explaining it. It's a 2 out of 5. It's not really worth the deck space, in my opinion. Maybe it's like a 1 of, maybe, but I don't know. There's just better stuff at high cost, honestly. I'm not sure what that inhalation was, but anyway, let's continue. Here we've got Muo, the Sword of Kanatana. When summoned abilities do not activate unless they belong to a yellow minion. This is really, really strong. This basically turns off almost every single relevant effect in the game from minions, which is mental. And then when attacking, select one of your other minions. This minion and that minion will gain 200 BP for the duration of the turn. So buffing the top to 700 BP is quite nice. It means that it's a little more difficult to block in a meaningful way, and a little bit more difficult for red to remove, basically. But it is susceptible to a reasonably large amount of removal, so there is that. I believe Sphinx covers this though, so in that deck, that's really, really strong. I mean, turning off when summoned abilities is very, very annoying. You need to deal with this thing ASAP, or yellow will just get ahead. The issue is decks don't play it right now because it's kind of too slow. It doesn't really synergize, but I think it's good. I think this is a 3.5 out of 5. Here we have the Evoko Chain. So this will evolve by summoning avians. The level 1 is a 6 cost 5/2. When attacking, return one of your opponent's minions with 400 BP or lower to the hand. That's pretty good. The level 2 also has when an opponent's minion is returned to their hand by one of your card effects, return to the bottom of the deck instead. This is a lot better because they don't even get it back. They can't even play it again. It's like, effect might as well be banishing them. And the level 3 also has on your turn, whenever one of your minions belong to the avian class attacks your opponent's life, this minion enters the active state, which is also a nice little bonus there, but again, you're probably never going to get level 3 in practice. So this is very, very strong. It is the core of the yellow Evoker deck. However, the yellow Evoker deck is definitely the worst yellow deck right now. That being said, though, it's still pretty good. I'd say this is a 3.5 out of 5. It's still really, really quite strong. Then we have Khan, the three-headed Monkey King. This thing is really, really fucking annoying. But thankfully, it's pretty much fallen out of the format because it's way too slow for the Chimera deck. So it has passive, whenever another minion belonging to the Chimera class enters your field, deal 300 BP to one of your opponent's minions, and at the end of your turn, all your yellow mana enters the active state and draw one card. Basically, this would get really annoying in previous formats when they would play this, and on the next turn they start spamming cheap Chimeras and just removing your whole board, and then it wouldn't matter if you dealt with Phoenix because they would still have access to it thanks to this monkey. So yeah, he was pretty good. I would say this is a 2.5 out of 5. It's not that good, but it was really annoying. I don't see him becoming super relevant in the future, though. Okay, that's yellow. Next we have Yami and Andros. So I'll preface this by saying this is the heart and soul of the best version of purple right now. I'll tell you right up front, this is a 4 out of 5 card. What does it do? When someone destroys one of your opponent's minions with the cost of 4 or lower, this is the very, very strong removal effect. It's very, very strong. Playing skeletons, this is a very easy condition to meet, and I would say probably the easiest out of any classes. Is there are a huge number of skeletons, and a lot of them that are very good, and as well there's a 0 cost skeleton you get access to out of Forbidden, which makes this a hell of a lot easier to do. The level 2 has whenever one of your opponent's minions is destroyed, this minion receives 1/1, and I think I actually misspoke at the beginning. Purple is also able to get level 3 very easily post Forbidden, which says also when attacking you can destroy one of your skeletons. If you do, you destroy one of your opponent's minions, which is phenomenally strong. This will very frequently have between 5 and 15 DP, very, very frequently. If your opponent doesn't deal with it immediately, they're basically never going to deal with it. So it's just going to be huge, and it's just going to basically ramp out of control, and it's going to win you the game single-handedly. It's really, really, really strong. Yeah, 4 out of 5. Then we've got Sushi, Priest of Thanatos. When destroyed, get a copy of a field minion in your opponent's trash that is not Sushi, Priest of Thanatos, and put it on the field. This card's really fucking good. It's fallen out right now because it's too expensive for what it does, but in the previous format, in the purple mirror match, it basically won you. It just won you the match single-handedly because you would steal your opponent's Belphegor, and then you could just loop Sushi and Belphegor like really easily, which was pretty wild. But yeah, this is realistically speaking like a 2.5 out of 5, a 2 out of 5. It's really dependent on the opponent's drop zone, or in the opponent's discard pile, or whatever it's called, trash, whatever. But it is still good. And then we've got Mammal, the Perpetual Prison. When summoned, send all field minion cards with the cost of 5 or lower from your deck to the trash, shuffle your deck, and at the end of your turn, deal 1 damage to your opponent's life every 10 purple cards in your trash. So I think a sort of overlooked part of this effect is it basically just removes all your chaff minions from your deck. You're only going to be drawing big drops, which is, generally speaking, what you want to be seeing later on in the game when you're reduced to top decking. It's also going to be doing some damage, though realistically it's only going to be doing 1 to maybe 2, which isn't great, but it's not bad. It's definitely something. I just don't think the card's very good. I think it's a 1.5 to 2 out of 5. It's, nothing super great. On to green, and I mean, this is... Okay. Let's start with Anolia, Noble Youth of Numi. When some, get a copy of one of your colour minions in your base, colour-based minions in your base, and add it to your hand. I mean, 4 out of 5, 4.5 out of 5. The only reason this isn't run in ramp is because, like, ramp is ramping really hard and they don't have the mana to spend on something like this. This is insane. And then we have Lunar Monarch of Ove, which is basically the reason elves are good. So the first effect is when someone put one of your opponent's minions in the rest state and it cannot return to the active state until your opponent's next standby phase, which is already very good. You play an elf, you evolve it. So then you also get passive, all your elves gain 1/1, which is really good, and the level 3, which is obviously very easy to get in elves. In addition, you'll be having actually more than 3 of these thanks to this little fucker. You also have, at the end of your turn, destroy all your opponent's lowest cost minions that are in the rest state, which oftentimes can be quite big things. So yeah, this is another 4 out of 5, a heart and soul of the elf deck, phenomenally strong in elves. I just don't see elves ever falling out of the top tier. I just don't see it. They're gonna get there. In my opinion, if you had to invest in a single deck for the long term, and you couldn't invest in any others, you only had to choose one, I'd probably invest it in green elves. I just don't see them being bad. I see them getting support every set. I see them being a top deck every set. Yeah, maybe not a top 3, but definitely a top 5. They're definitely top 5 right now, but they were definitely top 5 last format. In fact, they were arguably the best last format. So, yeah, I'm very convinced these will remain viable for a long time. Okay, and then we have Twin Horned. So, basically, all the green legendaries in Evolve were fucking mental, because this is the whole reason Green Ramp is good right now, because this minion cannot be selected as a target for you or your opponent's effects, and it gets big. So they can't really do anything about it, you just need to deal with their board and smash it face to kill them no matter how much life they have. So yeah, this card's also very good. This is, I feel like I have to give it a 4 out of 5, because it's the ramp card. It's the ramp card. You need this. This is the, like, you only need one legendary for ramp. You can get away with running one copy of it, and it is Twin Horn. You can't run anything else. So yeah, 4 out of 5. Okay, here we've got Bruna, and this is another phenomenal legendary. So the level 1 says, when attacking, move one of your opponent's minions with a cost of 5 or lower into their base in the rest state, and you have to summon Merfolk to evolve this one. So that's, you know, good. It's basically removing a lot of blockers. When attacking, this will still be moving at a cost of 5 or lower, and passive, whenever you use a magic card with an original cost of 3 or higher, this minion enters the active state. So basically, this is the version you need in the blue mid-range that lets you just straight up kill your opponent. It's a key part of the combo. It's very, very strong. It happens early enough game that your opponent almost certainly has nothing with a cost of 5 or higher, or rather 6 or higher, and even if they do, you can just tidal wave it. Yeah, and then the level 3, which is very, very possible, though relatively unlikely. It's probably the least likely out of the most likelies. It also has, for every minion belonging to the Merfolk class on your field, reduce the basic cost of all magic cards in your hand by 1, because why the fuck not? 4 out of 5 card, insanely strong, literally the reason blue is playable right now, like the biggest reason by far. This thing just kills you. It just kills you out of nowhere. They evolve it to level 2, and you're done. Like, literally the whole strategy is they play this, they scoop it into base, they survive your turn, they bring it out, play a Merfolk, evolve it, they shove your shit into base, they bash face, it restands, they swing face again, GG. Done. It's really good. Here we've got Maria, Knight of Poseidon.
You might want to check the modem or router connections.
Right, okay. Next we have Poseidon. When attacking, retrieve one blue magic card with a cost of 5 or lower from your trash and turn to your hand, and it has Infiltrate. This is okay. Salvaging something is pretty nice, but generally speaking, you kind of have Jellyfish Girl to just do that for you, and this is just a bit too slow. It's not bad though, so I'd say it's a 3 out of 5. And finally, we've got Helix the Trilance. When attacking, you can move one of your blue minions from your base to the field and put it in the active state, and on your turn, whenever another one of your minions moves from base to field, this minion receives 1/1, so it'll be a 7/2 attacker that just got you something for free. This is, again, pretty good. It's just a matter of finding a deck that it works in, and right now, there isn't one. So, a 3 out of 5, again, it's a card with potential, it just hasn't really got a home. Finally, on to white, and you've got another set of insane legendaries. First, you've got Schneiden. Research. On your turn, whenever one of your minions belong to the Android or Arcana class attacks, that's a lot of them, your opponent receives the following effect for the duration of the battle. They cannot activate magic cards. Gee, I sure do love taking away interaction. Run in white control from now, probably till the end of time. It's so good. It's a 5/6/2 Resurger with that skill. Yeah, it's good. 4 out of 5. 3.5 out of 5. 3.5 out of 5. It's a little less good than the next one, which is crazy. Here we've got Horse Girl, and this thing was mental. Still is mental, because white makes their forces big. The only reason it's not totally broken is because by making your forces big, you get Phoenix Cannon, which, that ain't good. So what this does is when someone, for every point your force has with the highest point value, deal 100 BP to your opponent's minions. So this will very feasibly be doing 5, 6, 7, 800 BP to everything, which is just a board wipe. The level 2 also has passive if you have a minion belong to the android class on your field. This minion cannot be selected as a target for your opponent's card effects, which is really fucking annoying as well to deal with. And finally the level 3, which is never going to happen, has on your turn, your minions belong to the android class will win in battle against other minions regardless of BP. This honestly is a shitty level 3, you only really care. The level 1 is so broken that they just nerfed the level 3, I swear to god. 4 out of 5, so strong, my god. And then we've got this thing, deal damage to your opponent's life equal to half their life. Yeah, I mean, it rounds up, so this can just burn you out if you're not kind of prepared for it. But, I mean, by and large, it's pretty expensive for what it does. It's still good, but it's just, you know, there's better stuff. I'd rather not spend my 9 mana on this thing, basically. So I'd say this is a 2 out of 5 card, but it can win you games. I just wouldn't waste the deck space on it. Finally, we have Lars. Actually, let's do Lars Lost. Let's do the cover card Lost. Let's just quickly get this one out of the way. Iron Mother Terrestrial, Infiltrate 10-3, destroy all neutral mana that are not minion cards. This is realistically destroying like 2 mana, 1 out of 5. Now let's talk about Lars. So, for placing 1 Lars, you get Samurai Spirit of Lars. This minion cannot be selected as a target for your opponent's card effects on your turn, so it's going to be able to attack, and it will gain 100 BP for every Evoker in your base. So it's going to be really fucking big. Like, it's going to be 6, 7, 8, 900 BP, which is big. There are decks built around this guy that just buff him the hell up. Your opponent can't do anything about it, and he just swings face. It's a whole yellow-green Lars build. It's very strong. Yeah, I mean, this thing is really good. This is probably the best card you get out of Lars, and because it's the earliest, it's why Lars is still run it in a lot of decks. The level 2 you get is this 7 cost 7/2 dragon, which will destroy an opponent's force, or it'll get 1/1. I mean, yeah, destroying forces is kind of good. Obviously, very strong as well. 7 cost 8/3 is kind of janky though. Finally, for 10, you get destroy all other minions. This is on a 12/4. This is obviously very good, because if you destroyed both your opponent's forces at this point, this thing can just come in and win you the game straight up. Of course, if they have removal for it, but not that many decks have removal for this that can actually deal with this. So yeah, this is really good. Overall, Lars is a 4.5 out of 5. Previous format, it was a 5, I would say, but it's a little worse now. It's not so staple, but it's a 4.5 out of 5. It's really good. So, that is the video. I do hope you guys enjoyed this video today. If you did, please leave a like on the video. Please comment anything you would like me to make, any content, any reviews or whatever you're interested in me seeing, any overviews, showcases, whatever, that kind of stuff, and I will look into doing it. Finally, please subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers before the end of the summer. If I do, I will be able to increase the production quality even further. I hope you guys have noticed the new microphone. I think it's made quite a big difference. As well as just generally being able to wail harder at the game, make all sorts of stuff, blah blah, you get the idea. Just drop a sub, share the video, get someone else to sub, I'll appreciate it. And once again, thank you very much for watching this video, and I look forward to seeing you in tomorrow's video. Cheers.